This will be the last video that you really need to watch on how to get a lean physique. See, I'm an online fitness coach, 20 years old, a personal trainer. I'm somebody who's grown up overweight, grown up being disrespected, walked over, never having any confidence to actually walk around in the clothes that I wanted to wear. I remember waking up when I was younger, and before school, I would take so long to get ready in the morning, not because I was slow, but because I remember putting on one outfit, taking a look at myself in the mirror. Oh my gosh, this shirt makes me look fat. Taking that one off, put on another one. Oh, this shirt makes me look fat. This one makes my freaking body look weird. These pants fit my legs too tight. And then even just finding an outfit last second, going to school, whether it was elementary school, middle school, high school even, never wanting to walk around in my own body, never truly feeling confident and having that ability to approach a woman, and always settling in my dating life. All of these things I used to experience my past self, now coming out on the other side where people now look up to me, and I make a living off of helping people get out of that old lifestyle I used to live with such low confidence to even strive after anything, to now living the life of where I'm the most confident version of myself. I have a social media page where I help people get in the best shape of their life and give people wisdom on the struggles I've been through and what I've had to do to overcome them. Meeting my dream woman, being in the best relationship ever, like with my girlfriend now, Tori. And even before meeting her, how much my dating life improved then. The ability to just put on clothes and not care what I wear and feel truly confident, and people just respect you. People treat you different. People treat you a lot better, but you react to the world based off of the way you feel about yourself. Your actions come from that internal feeling you have about yourself. And for me in the past, I never actually felt good about myself, right? And it came from the fact that I just was never truly in a body I felt that confident in. And I want to make this video for a person to understand what it takes to transform, but also that you have to understand that change is possible. You have to believe yourself first. Believe in yourself first. You have to believe in yourself. And when I say belief, it's not like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to get a six-pack one day. Belief is knowing that this stupid lollipop thing is in this car. Knowing you already are where you want to be and having true conviction in who you are. That version of yourself with a six-pack already existing inside of you before you even see it when you look at yourself in the mirror. That's what you call true belief, and belief is what lies inside of your identity. So this is pretty much my whole entire life. Growing up being overweight, I remember the first time I started to feel insecure about my body was I was outside of church. I must have been 5 or 6, 7 years old. 6, 7. Stop. Okay, no. Now I'm playing. Okay, I must have been around 6 years old, and my cousin took a picture of me, and he was like, dude, like, your body looks weird. And I remember it so vividly. I don't know why I remember things like that so vividly, but I remember him taking that picture and showing me, and him saying like, yeah, bro, like, your body looks odd. I'm like, I don't know. He must have been maybe 10, 12 years old at the time. And from that moment on, I remember going into second grade, feeling so insecure about my body. Like, I was never the same after that day. Like, that day literally changed everything. And going into in first grade, I remember I never actually cared about the way I looked. And I was even chubby then. I was never self-conscious, but second grade, that's when everything started. And I remember even being younger and having to just hating the way I looked in all clothes. And I was never really respected. And I felt like I had to put on this personality or maybe being tough to get that respect. Couldn't truly be who I was, and the teasing and whatnot. That's kind of what I had to deal with third, fourth, fifth. I only got bigger and bigger and bigger. And even by sixth grade, I was like, oh my gosh, that's when, you know, girls and guys started to like date and whatnot. And I was kind of just there, and everybody else was starting to talk to girls. And I was kind of this guy in the friend zone, 7th grade, 8th grade, never really feeling confident in who I was. And I was kind of like chubby, overweight, pretty much from that age of 6 years old all the way until I was 13. So when I was 13, I started getting really good at football. And football made me start my journey in the gym. And I started going to the gym. I started going to Planet Fitness with my mom. And me and my mom would just like work out with each other. Actually, the first time she took me to the gym was Anytime Fitness. Went to Anytime Fitness, had a good time with her. And that was actually so random. And I never actually meant to go to that gym, meant to go to the gym that day with her. But eventually it led me going to the second time and the third time. So when I was in 8th grade, when I was 13 years old, I got recruited to play for this football team called Mass Lee Football University. Played football pretty much my entire life. And 8th grade is when I just got good randomly because I switched positions. I had a little growth spurt. I went from like 5'5" to like, I think 5'3", 5'4" in 7th grade to like 5'9", 10 in 8th grade, and getting bigger. I started to build muscle a bit, going to the gym. And that's when I started to feel a bit better about myself. And I remember actually I started to starve myself in 8th grade. So then I ended up going from being overweight in 8th grade to kind of like this skinny fat look. I was never really muscular because I just stopped eating food. And I just hated the way that I looked. I remember actually getting pneumonia, and that caused me to lose like 25, 30 pounds. So then that happened. And then I got recruited from that football team to play at this private school called Lawrence Academy, right? I loved Lawrence Academy. Love everybody who went there. 4-year boarding school I went there, prep school, really expensive. I had a scholarship or like financial aid support. Not sure if it had anything to do with football or not, but I know I had to only pay like $3,000 and tuition was like $65K. Anyways, you're just gonna notice I go on a bit of side tangents, but if you're here for that, stay. Just stay. This is who I am, guys. This is literally who I am in real life, right? I know I'm a fitness coach and bodybuilder, but I'm a normal guy, you know? See, again, side tangent, back on track of where everything started. So being at Lawrence Academy, that's when I started to gain weight, good and bad weight. And I started getting pretty hefty. So I became kind of this, I went from the skinny fat look to now like, oh, I need to gain weight for football. I'm only 180, 90 pounds. I'm a linebacker. I need to start. By the time I was a freshman, I got up to maybe around 190. Then I started getting a bit bulky and a bit like, okay, like chubby face and no abs, basically just bulky fat. And I was bulky fat from freshman year. Sophomore year got even bigger. Junior year got even bigger. I remember, like, the thing about my body I hated the most is my freaking big ass and legs. Like, I stored so much fat there and also fat in my stomach. So I kind of looked like this, like, woman woman walking around in that body. Hated the way that I looked so much. Then senior year of high school is when I decided to change. Started dieting pretty hard. At that point, I'd already had a muscular physique, but I remember the main reason why I wanted to do this diet is because I remember going on this senior trip with, I was one of the only guys on that trip. And it was like a random choice. Our school like does this like little thing like where we went on, everybody had different events and trips, and my trip for my senior trip was going to this place called Dominica Island. And I was one of 2 guys on a trip with like 14, 15 girls. At the time I had a girlfriend, but even like taking off my shirt in front of those girls when we had things to do and seeing my gut and hey, bro, like it just didn't feel good. Like I didn't like the fact that I was never confident. I felt self-conscious taking off my shirt in front of girls. And I remember actually that trip was in March of 2023, the year I graduated high school. And then from that point on, it was like, oh my gosh. I got home from that 2-week long trip, no phones on that trip. It was a good time, trust me. I had a great time. I'm not saying it was a bad trip. It was like, it's just that part I didn't like. And I always felt like I genuinely had this potential inside of me of like, okay, like, you could definitely look good. You've already been in the gym, you've been lifting, You look good. Like, you look deep. People think you're big and strong, but like, you're not lean. I never had that lean face. I never felt attractive. I just wanted to be able to have a six-pack and love my body. I didn't love my body. I hated my body. I hated it genuinely. One of my biggest like insecurities and things that just destroyed me every single day was my body. And that's when I got home from that trip and I started to be in a calorie deficit. I started tracking my calories. I had already started tracking my calories when I was 13 years old, and that's why I started myself back then. But this time I was like, okay, I'm going to do this serious. And I got the app Chronometer, measuring my food. I already knew what macronutrients were. I'd already been into bodybuilding, and I already loved just training in the gym, and my issue was just sticking with my diet. You guys got to understand this about getting the body you want. First of all, it's all diet. Like, it's when you're in the gym lifting, yes, that's going to be like 10 to 20% of it. But everything based on the way you look is calories in, calories out, macronutrients. You could be in the gym training perfectly every single day, but if you don't put the correct food and the correct amount of that food in your body, you're never going to look the way you want to look. A little side tangent there, right? So that's the main thing that held me back. It was actually me locking in Monday to Thursday. You know, actually, the thing is, I saw some weight loss progress. I went from like maybe 210 down to like 200 pounds. I was like, okay, lost 10 pounds. I'm starting to see a faint abs, but it's like not enough to the point where my face looked better. Not enough to the point where I felt confident to take off my shirt and have a six-pack. And it was just me being inconsistent. You know, I would lock in from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But every single time Friday, Saturday, Sunday would come, I would hang out with my girlfriend at the time, hang out with friends, and I would just fall off on my diet, restart again. And it was like this for a long time. Then I started binge eating my senior year of high school. I remember this ice cream truck came for like seniors and whatnot. And I remember the first time I ever binged, I was like locked in with my diet for 2 weeks at that point. And I remember this ice cream truck came and my friends were like, oh, you gonna have one, Denzel? Because they all knew I was dieting. And I was like, I don't know if I want one. Like, I don't know. They're like, yeah, bro, just like have one, dude. It's just one cookie. It was a Cookie Monster truck. These fat, freaking good looking cookies with ice cream in the middle. Chef's kiss. It was actually amazing. But I ended up getting in line with my friends. Remember this not so vividly. Getting a cookie, eating it. And this is something I actually don't talk about on my Instagram page because I feel like I don't want to put it there, but I can put it here on YouTube because I feel like this is a smaller crowd of people. But I was a bulimic for about 2 years. Crazy, right? I know this is crazy, something I wouldn't really admit on my page, and maybe somebody might send this to their friends or, oh, yo, Denzel's, he. Yeah, but that day I went to the bathroom and I did the number 3. And I remember my roommate at the time, like, being so worried and, like, just like, yo, like, this is not, like, you don't have to go this far. And it was just the fact that I hated my body so much to the point where it's like I fell off of my diet. I was like, no, I don't want to undo it. I want to undo it. And I made myself throw up. And that one time I was like, oh, I'm never going to do this again. What a lie. What a lie. I continued to do this, and my ex-girlfriend was very, very pissed off that I would do it. I remember being at the movie theater, doing it there. I remember doing it consistently and literally my entire freshman year of college. I remember at the time I was committed to play football on a full scholarship to the University of New Haven, Division I. Now at the time we were D2, and they were D2. I'm not there anymore, guys, right? But quit football. Hated that. And that's another, that I have to make a whole entire video on that. I cannot talk about it. This video would genuinely be like 2 hours long. I'm not even gonna lie, guys. There's so many details. Quit football freshman year of college, and my only way out of that like despair and depression I had from quitting football and losing purpose, even though I did hate that life and I was miserable playing that sport, was just the one thing that I liked doing, working on my body. And still feeling like I was settling, still feeling like I wasn't like who I truly wanted to be, feeling like there was a hole of where I should be. And I knew I wasn't living up to my potential. It used to bother me. And it would always be me again, cheating on my diet. It always felt like I was swimming uphill. it felt like I was constantly trying to just run up a hill, swim up a hill, bike up a hill of a slope working against me and going back to point A. You running, swimming, biking up that hill, taking action, doing the thing that represents the things you have to do to get in shape. So I would constantly try to diet, go to the gym, stay consistent, but I would always be falling back. And what that slope represents is what the thing that needs to change. It's your identity. See, the reason why I couldn't make a change, I'm in great shape. I've built my dream physique now, and I struggled for so long back then, is simply because my identity. See, what is identity? Identity exists in your subconscious mind. It is your self-image, the way you see yourself in this world, and that self-image makes up of the beliefs you have about yourself in this world. And this is what we call a paradigm. A paradigm is a set of multiple beliefs that lie within your self-image. And for me, I still never had full accountability, full discipline, and I was still trying to lose weight. I had the trying identity. It was easy for me to go to the gym and then, there was my diet. But when it came to being out with friends, it was so easy to cheat on my diet because I was still trying, See, this is what I'm going to tell you guys. The trying dilemma. The thing about the trying identity. You are making this change. You want to get in great shape, but you have this feeling that you're not really there mentally. It's you being out with friends, and it's easy for you to cheat on your diet because it's like, oh, wait, guys, I'm trying this new thing. I'm trying to get in great shape. You don't truly see yourself there, and that's exactly what my issue was. It was my self-image. It was the way I truly saw myself and my beliefs. And what I had to find out was that what I wanted was on the other side of pain. And I needed to change the way I saw myself because I never, ever felt like I deserved the body. And that's why it always felt like I was swimming uphill. See, what I did, I took the slope of the hill and I tilted it for it to work for me. And changing my identity required sacrifice. I let go of the relationship I was in at the time. I felt like I was being held back by that girl. Treated me well, but I never truly felt like I was living up to my full potential. It had nothing to do with her. It was me. But again, I knew in the back of my mind, taking myself out of that relationship would cause me to lock in and elevate and, isolate. And that's exactly what I did. I hung out with all these friends in college, and all these people I was hanging out with, we like to smoke and drink and eat junk food. And this is my freshman year of college still. My senior year of high school, freshman year of college. And during my freshman year of college, it would be the same exact thing. Smoking, drinking, going out on the weekends. And I never had the body I wanted. Until I changed my identity and my character. Part of your identity is the time you get up. A part of your identity is what content you consume. A part of your identity is your self-talk. A part of your identity is what you really believe to be true. You don't actually believe that fat loss is possible. You don't see yourself as that guy walking around with a six-pack. And your environment, it shows that. It truly does, and that's exactly what happened to me. And I had to let go of who I was. And I cut off a good amount of people. And obviously started working on this fitness page and this business at the time because for me to get this business started, I knew I needed to be in great shape. And everything changed when I understood that everything I wanted was on the other side of letting go of who I was. The last thing you really need to hear on getting the body you want is everything you want is on the other side of walking through the fire. See, the fire represents pain, and pain is when resistance meets effort. What I truly learned was I was going through what we call spiritual warfare. When you say you want something, like a body, a six-pack, you need to become the person who can. And by becoming the person who can, you need to let go of who you are. See, it's you versus you. It's your current self versus your evolving self. Current self is like anything else on this planet. It's going to do everything it can to survive. Resistance is your current self's weapon. Your evolving self's weapon, who you need to become, who you're acting like, is effort. Effort is getting your body to take an action it does not want to take. When resistance meets effort, pain is manifested. When that voice in your head that tells you to skip the gym is there, resistance, but you do it anyways, what happens? It's pain. You don't want to do it. So for me, what I needed to do is destroy my old self by walking through the fire. And it was changing everything about who I was. It was changing the story I told myself. I stopped telling myself I was trying to lose weight, and I started telling myself I already have a six-pack. I started telling myself I was disciplined. I started telling myself I'm the version of myself with everything I want. And that's when everything started to change. Everything started to change. And I started to stay consistent and be consistent with my diet. And then when I got in great shape, everything changed. Like, my dating life changed, the respect I got from people, the general confidence I got, and I became the version of myself I always wanted to be. But it was really born through the fire I walked through. And I'm going to tell you this right now. There's no way under it. There's no way around it. The only way is through the fire. And the fire represents you meeting resistance with effort every trip. Resistance is literally that voice in your head that tries to rationalize why you shouldn't do something. I have resistance to make this YouTube video. It's trying to rationalize, oh, we don't have to record today. You already uploaded 3 reels. But the version of myself who's further in business, he has to do these things. My evolving self is making more YouTube videos and being consistent. And my current self, resistance, who needs to die, is going to try to rationalize why I shouldn't do the thing I need to do. But I'm meeting with effort, and this video is painful. And every single time I manifest this pain by meeting this voice that's saying, get off, stop making this YouTube video with effort, I'm becoming the new version of myself and suffocating my old self through the fire. That's exactly how this mindset works. And that's how everything changed, is I started to view everything like resistance is right in front of me. And that's where I became very conscious, and I raised this level of awareness, knowing that, okay, I just need to let go of who I am. And I just started to act like I already had the body. You need to act like you already have what you want to get what you want. You need to act, walk, talk, and breathe like the version of yourself with your body. And you know what time he gets up. You know what food he's eating. See, you already know information. You know what a calorie deficit is, just like I did for so long. But my only issue was consistency. And the reason why I wasn't consistent simply was my identity. And discipline doesn't come overnight. Discipline is something that's developed through the constant effort of meeting resistance. And it's not going to be overnight, but I'm telling you this right now. Every time you meet that voice, you are becoming the version of yourself you've always been called to be. And me making this YouTube video is an exact representation of exactly what I talked about and what I went through. The voice saying you don't have to follow through with your diet today. You locked in Monday to Thursday, but you can go off on Friday and Saturday. You can drink with your friends. That's what held me back for so long. And when I got rid of that voice and I just canned him in the ground by doing the thing I was supposed to do, he became silenter and quiet and quiet and quiet every single trip. And that's how I built my mindset. That's one of the mindsets I teach my clients. I break it down in much more depth and detail. I'm trying to get everything and fit it within 30, 45 minutes, however long this video is going to be. But that's exactly what you need to know. The mindset that changed everything for me is within those moments I had cravings and I wanted to skip the gym, and even moments like this, keeping my mind on my future self. It is discipline. Discipline is the ultimate form of self-love, because you may not be good at what you're doing now. You may not have the body you want now. You may not want to overcome the cravings now. You may not want to hit the gym now, but you're doing it for your future self. It's not for you, bro. Let go of the selfish intent of wanting everything for you to be for you. You want pleasure now, but save the pleasure for later. Go through pain now. Meet resistance every single day. That's the best advice I could give to anybody who wants to get in great shape. Let go of who you are. If you've been overweight for so long, your entire life, it's not an info issue. You have TikTok, ChatGPT, and Instagram. They can write you a meal plan. Your issue is your identity. Your issue is accountability. Your issue isn't info. Your issue is implementation. And that's what I needed to hear for so long. You have a character issue that shows through your diet. You have a mindset issue that shows through these moments where you choose comfort over doing the thing you're supposed to do. That's what everything comes down to. You have to be able to walk through the fire. And every single time you step out, you reset yourself back. It's December, and we have this whole entire winter arc. Listen, I don't really care about winter arc. It's like, whatever. People are debating winter arc. Don't say winter arc. It's you lock in all year. Okay, it's the winter, guys, right? I'm letting you know it's the winter. And you're going to have a summer arc, a spring arc. You're going to have arcs, but it's the winter arc. And the only mindset that you need to get through this winter arc is letting go of who you are. You have to be able to just say, okay, I'm letting go of the old friends I have that hold me back, that always ask me to go drink, that always ask to get McDonald's with me. I'm letting go of my old belief system, believing that I'm a person who's not meant to be in great shape. Let go of always saying yes. That's it. Let go of the snacks in your cupboard. It's a part of your environment. Let go of the negative thoughts and negative self-talk that you loathe in. Poor me, my genetics. Let go of that lack of self-accountability. The version of yourself with a six-pack puts everything on himself. See, having a six-pack is just characteristic traits. Simply just manifested on your body. Characteristic traits, again, lie in your identity. You will never get the body you want until you change your identity. To build my business, I needed to change my identity. I needed to stop seeing myself as this 19, 18-year-old kid who liked to go out and smoke. I needed to see myself as a guy with routine. I had so much info on how to build my business, but again, implementation, guys. Walk through the fire. Everything you want is on the other side of the fire. So guys, I'm going to be doing more Raw Talk videos, maybe once a day, a couple times a week. Again, I'm going to be doing these as much as I can because I know the more Raw Talk videos I could do, the better I could get at them. And who knows, this is the first one I do, and maybe a couple of months down the line, they'll look completely different with so much more passion. I didn't want to make this video, but I still did it anyways. Because there's a version of myself I know who does these videos more consistently, and he has different results. And this is me letting go of who I am as well. I'm letting go of who I am, and I'm doing these videos because I know that the version of myself in the future will thank me for starting. So for you, you got to be able to walk through that fire just like I am and let go of who you are. That's all everything comes down to. So there's a lot more content I'm going to be making, storytelling. It's a bit about me. This is just the beginning. This is just a start. And I'm excited for more content I'm going to be making on YouTube, vlogs, what I eat in a day. I'm going to be getting a camera and whatnot. And I'm excited to take my business from from like 5 to 10K a month. And yeah, that's a Raw Talk for you. Peace out.